What's up, guys? Welcome to the Pretty Boys Mechanic channel on YouTube, and in today's video I got a special one for you guys. I'm going to show you guys how to change out the AC compressor on your Honda CRV 2002 through 2007. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell down below. Let's get into it.
Okay, today I'm working on a 2002 Honda CRV. The AC compressor is locked up on this vehicle, so it already threw the belt off. The gentleman who owns the vehicle has already gotten it jacked up. I'm going to lower the subframe in order to be able to remove the AC compressor. We've got a 17mm bolt here. I use my cordless impact. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, right now I'm going to go ahead and put my gauges on here to see if I have any pressure on the high side or the low side. On this Honda here, it's easy. You've got your low side, which is going to be a smaller fitting. If you look, you have a small and a larger fitting. The larger fitting is a high side fitting. You want to hook up both just to be sure that you have no pressure in the system when you disconnect your lines to the compressor. Okay, if you see the gauges, we have no pressure on our gauges, zero pressure, so we're safe to disconnect our lines going to the compressor. So at this time I'm going to get my helper Nathaniel, which is also my son, to give me the wrenches that I'm going to need to go down on the bottom and pull the compressor off. All right, you need 12mm. You need the 1/4 inch socket set. Okay, just real quick, common symptoms of a bad AC compressor. You'll get a grinding noise at times, not all the time. 9 times out of 10, if your AC clutch starts to go out, you will hear it. If you turn it off, you might hear it a little more. Turn it on, it might put a little pressure on the bearings on the clutch, which will probably quieten it down a little unless it's really bad. The cooling inside the vehicle will be horrible. You'll start getting hot. We're in South Texas. Down here, AC is a necessity. It's not a option. I mean, we're in the beginning of June, we're already at 103 degrees outside, so it is a necessity down here in the South.
Shredded belt.
Shredded belt. When the AC clutch locks up, more than likely it's going to shred your belt. If you look here on the grooves of the pulley, you'll see parts of the belt embedded into that pulley, which when we go to put a new belt on there, we are going to take a pick or a scribe and clean that out so we don't ruin our new belt.
And Ben, you already tested these other pulleys too?
Yeah. All of our other pulleys are turning. Our alternator is down here. It's kind of hard to see the alternator, but it's down there. We have the belt tensioner down there. Then you're going to have your harmonic balancer, which is the big pulley right in the middle at the bottom. And then right next to the harmonic balancer is the AC compressor, and you'll see that pulley there with the clutch on the front of it.
I saw you do something right here, Ben. You pull back the deal, you pull back the plastic, and you tested it yourself, and it's super hard.
If you look right in here, this, I can barely turn it by hand. It's very tight, so it's already locked up.
Yeah.
Word of advice, when that happens to your AC compressor, a lot of people think, okay, well, let me just replace the clutch. The thing about that is you have seals and a shaft that goes through that compressor. That compressor, yes, you can replace the clutch, but when you get into the labor cost of removing the compressor to replace that clutch, number one, you have to have the proper tools to remove the clutch and install the clutch. And the other thing is, more than likely it's not going to be efficient. So you're better off just going square one, getting a new compressor, putting the new compressor on there. When you do a new compressor, my recommendation, you always flush the system. Replace, on this vehicle, they have what they call an expansion valve, which is a little block. You replace the expansion valve and the dryer filter. Flush the system. When you put it back together, you want to vacuum your system for about 30 to 45 minutes. Make sure there's no moisture in the lines, no air. Let it sit for about 20 minutes after that. Then come back and recharge it to verify you have no leaks. When an AC compressor locks up like that, you never know what goes on inside the compressor. That thing could have came apart on the inside. These little lines here that go down to the compressor, to the condenser, which is in front, to the evaporator core, which is inside of the dash of the vehicle, it could have sent trash all through here. If you go through and put a new compressor without flushing this system, the odds of you running into problems are very high, due to the fact that all that trash is going to push through the lines. You have not flushed it out, so all you're doing is using that compressor to push more trash. It's not going to cool efficiently, and more than likely you're going to end up having to get another compressor in the very near future. If it's a lot of trash, this compressor might last you a week. On this particular Honda CRV, if you look right here, you will see a label. It says refrigerant type R134A, recommended charge, which is how much Freon you're going to put into the system. The max is 18.7 ounces. The minimum is 16.9 ounces. So they sell Freon in a 12-ounce can. This system, you're going to need 2 cans of Freon to charge this system properly.
It's these 2 bolts?
Yeah. You have a compressor mounting bolt here at the tip of my finger right there. The fingers are all black, so, and then the other one's here. With a wrench, they're fairly easy accessible, but getting the compressor out is kind of a pain. So usually what I do, one thing I did do is put a jack stand underneath. You always want to be safe when you're crawling under a vehicle. You never know, you could buy a brand new jack and that thing might collapse on you. You're pinned under a vehicle. That could cause serious injury or even death. So be very careful. Use jack stands, use supports. Don't be a dummy. All right, Snap-on, they do sell them in Pronto and other brands. I've been doing mechanic work for so long, I'm picky about tools. I use my tools every day. Therefore, I purchase quality tools. Plus, if these break, you know what? Snap-on truck comes by, they warranty it out for me, no questions asked. With this swivel, I can get right in there on it. These are going to be a little snug in there, but with that, it makes it much easier to get these bolts out. That one was tight.
And it's just 2 bolts, Ben?
2 bolts on the bottom, 2 bolts on the top, and this compressor will be out of here. You can see I've already cracked loose the top bolts, so it's wobbly in there.
Oh yeah, I can see it moving around.
Hey little buck, can you hand me my DeWalt? I use my little DeWalt impact driver quite a bit. Makes it a little quicker. Okay, so we got those two. This one will come out. This one, when we take the two top ones off, we'll just roll the compressor and be able to take that bolt out to be able to install our new compressor. It's good to carry a rag. There it goes again. I think it just does not want to be in my hands. I understand I'm blocking it with my hands, but I'm just removing these two bolts so we can get the compressor out of here. There's one. There's two. And there's the compressor. That thing's pretty rough. If you look right down in there, you can see where it basically melted everything in there. Inside this compressor, you have the shaft, you have the bearings. We don't want to reuse this compressor because even replacing that clutch, we'll probably have problems. Out with the old, in with the new. Okay, now we're going back in. We just move it out of the way a little bit, the radiator. Set it down. Let's see, I'm going to grab my bolts here. Got my shop rags here. I can wipe my bolts off. I don't like dealing with dirty bolts. The cleaner they are, the easier they'll go in. All the thread, you want to make sure you don't have anything in there. Now, we're going to get this positioned. I've got a top bolt in it just to hold it in place. Now I'm going to go to the bottom so we make sure we get the front bolt in, and I will put the other bolts in after I get the front lower bolt in. That's your hardest one. We're going to have to rotate the compressor up a little to get our bolt in there. Last but not least, we're going to fire this baby up, check it out, and finish sucking in the Freon.
like a kitty now.
Just finished editing the video, guys. If you like this content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell down below. And what should we fix next? Comment below what you want the Priddy Boys Mechanic Shop to fix next. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.